Computer screen. All right. Okay. So for the recording, this is the extended week ahead. And why is Emma there? Why are you there, Emma? I will pin myself. Pin. Okay. All right, so yeah, for the recording, this is the extended week ahead. You can find the other week ahead in YouTube or in the course modules, just titled week ahead. So we have got the 31st of July through to the 6th of August. All right, now today's pretty much over, but we do have a beautiful grand trine still here in an Earth grand trine. Okay, so we've got Mars in Virgo, Jupiter in Taurus, and the Moon in Capricorn. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring this one up is because Venus is now squaring Uranus, and we've got a couple of days to go with that one. That is exact on the 9th of August. All right, so we've still got a few days, but it's getting closer. All right, so the dissatisfaction is growing. And I don't want to say the dissatisfaction is growing, but I mean it is. It just doesn't have to be traumatic. We could just have a niggle that things don't feel right, and we're really starting to forge ahead. Now, this week, the trine to Chiron comes back at about 4:20 on Tuesday afternoon. All right, so during this time, we are at the moment, we are thinking, we're looking around and starting to more easily disseminate what the actual issues are. So we can compartmentalize, we can make it a little bit more logical. It's less overly emotional. Yes, Venus is looking within, and like I said, we've got Lilith there, which isn't in this chart. I'm so sorry, but it is just at around 25 degrees of Leo there. So, there's a lot of things for women are angry at the moment. Now, the last time I remember speaking about Lilith and Venus being together was when Wade versus Roe was turned back. All right, so that was the women's rights to an abortion bill in America, and I think that was when Venus was in Gemini, and I remember that Lilith was there again. And so there was women around the world, and they were pissed off. And so now it's a similar type of thing where women are looking at themselves going, I deserve better. And that's pretty much it. I deserve better should be one of the mantras that we're thinking right now. And like I said, the fact that we can break it down into smaller components, and we've got that Mars, we've got that trine that I was talking about earlier, the Mars, Jupiter, Moon in Capricorn. So, steady progress can be made by breaking things down to a smaller part, but then also, this is based on our senses and how we are feeling. This Uranus in Taurus, it's, now this week overall, you might start to feel some heightened anxiety. All right. Now, this is due to Mercury in Virgo. All right. So Virgo rules our hormones. It is our thought process. Mars and Virgo can create a negative inner critic where we can actually turn it into a directed constructive criticism. You know what I mean? It comes down to, us actually really paying attention to how we're feeling. So that inner critic and that over our brains being too turned on. All right. So this is an 8-week stay of Mercury in Virgo. So if you can acknowledge early, all right, early in the piece, it's only been since Saturday that Mercury's gone in there, that, Mercury is going to do this. It is going to it's going to fuck your thoughts up a little bit, you know? So this is why I'm like, all right, so if you start to feel that anxiety rising because your thoughts are going too fast, or the inner critic is turned on too loud, these are things that you can actually do something about. All right. We're going to take a deep breath. We're going to use all our tools. We're going to remember that it's just Mercury and Mars in Virgo. All right. They tend to do this thing. We can actually steer it in a different direction. All right. So back to today. We can be logical. We can set up, we can write instructions. For today's words, I wrote to refer to instructions when needed, because we don't always remember the steps first go. All right. So, take that inner critic out of it and know that not everybody gets things straight away. Again, we're trying to reduce the expectation placed on us by Mars and Mercury in that place. All right. This is why I'm like really trying to make it known to you guys that it's, just turn it around somehow. Okay, so that was today. Now, as we go forward in the week, tomorrow the moon moves into Aquarius. Not 1 minute, 1 day would be great. All right, so tomorrow the moon moves into Aquarius at 1:58 p.m, so 2 o'clock. You are going to be feeling okay, so Aquarius is a fixed air sign. All right, I'm going to focus on Tuesday and Wednesday as the days. Tuesday and Wednesday mainly as the days where this heightened anxiety and discomfort is going to play a part. All right, so as you can, I'll let you know. We have the moon coming up to Pluto in the afternoon. That is going to be, that is going to be at around 12 o'clock. All right. And then later on in the night, we have an aspect at around 8 o'clock, whereas there's another uncomfortable Mercury aspect. Anyway, Moon Pluto, we are transforming our emotional foundations. The reason why you might get triggered is because, there's shit that needs to be dealt with and looked at. And this is why, the planets just trigger stuff to be acknowledged. So, if you don't have anything going on, then bonus. If you do, just look at it as okay, this thing's come up in my world. How do I let it go? Why has it got such a hold on me? All right. How is it restricting my freedom as well? Aquarius, Leo just wants to be out loud and, the main focus, where the full moon in Aquarius is much more about humanity and, social situations, groups, how you serve society. So, and your freedom. Again, do you want to be part of the crowd, or do you want to be up on stage? And going back to Venus in Leo and her dissatisfaction, what are the things that are stopping you being your best? Is it a person or a place or a thing that is hindering your freedom of expression? So, like that whole, I'll do it for you. Is that taking your time away from you? So, look at your part in groups, and are you giving too much of yourself to other people so that you're not being the best for yourself? Okay. So, okay. Now for tomorrow, I wrote, I do not know it all, but the answers will come. All right. So, we are able to successfully detach from the emotions of this full moon as well. So I'll go forward to the actual full moon. It's like 4:30 on Wednesday morning. So it's not something that we're not going to be punched in the face with it, but it's still going to play out in the evening before, and for most of the day, I guess. All right, so now in any full moon, you're going to feel uncomfortable. You know, the moon shining its light on the things you need to deal with. And like I was saying, it's just past Pluto, and it's, you know, sitting in between Pluto, how do we transform our old foundations, and Hygeia, going, what is it you need for your mental health and your well-being in regards to freedom, you know? And like I said, the groups of people, are you giving too much of yourself? Are you that much of a humanitarian that you are being a martyr and you're just like not doing anything for yourself? All right. So, and also it's about connection, belongings, community. We're looking at the bigger picture on Wednesday. All right. So going back to the Venus stuff, you know, she's looking at all of her life. And now on this Aquarian moon, it's pushing you to look at the bigger picture, but keep your emotions out of it. All right. Detach from your emotions. Mercury is asking you to logic it as much as you can. Mercury is like just pushing you to rush through, but you know, it's not really one that we can rush too much, because we don't want, you know, there's already a lot of anxiety. We don't want to add to that fire and just burn ourselves out, or burn our adrenals out either. Okay. Now, I'll have to stop trying to just go to Venus because this is the week ahead. All right. So that was pretty much Wednesday, you know. What else can I say about that? Uranus, so the full moon is being ruled by Uranus and Saturn. That Saturn is in an opposition with Mercury, and you know, Saturn in Pisces, I've been talking about it for weeks now. Same as Pluto in Capricorn. Let's restructure our subconscious ideas. And Mercury in Virgo is like, okay, let's break it down. You know, where did they come from? You know, are they serving you? You know, are they good for you? You know, Virgo is still a very health orientated place. You know, Hygeia should rule Virgo, but asteroids don't get to rule planets, get to rule signs. So, you know, take it back to yourself as much as you can. Like, bring all of your energy back in. Stop giving away so much of yourself, your time, and your value. Okay. So now moving through to Thursday this week. Now Thursday at 1 o'clock, we leave the Aquarian moon behind. All right. So now when it goes into Pisces this time, we've just had, sorry, get going. Okay. So once the moon goes into Pisces on Thursday, we've just had a really good look at the structures we want changing, how our well-being and mental health is being impacted by how we are giving too much of ourselves away or restricting our creative drives for the sake of everyone else. And then we get the moon coming up to conjunct Saturn. Now, the moon in Pisces is usually spiritual and, you know, but it's so very delusional as well. So this Saturn retrograde in Pisces is putting the brakes on the woo. All right, we've got some pretty hard lessons to be learnt this week because, you know, the moon is being ruled by Saturn, both in Aquarius and, well, in Pisces, it's ruled by Jupiter, but it came straight up to a conjunction to Saturn. So the brakes have been put on and the hard facts and realities are in your face right now. You cannot run away from these things. I mean, we can continue talking about running away from stuff, but ultimately the planets are going to get you. So you might as well be working with the energy, you know, while it's in that space. So on Thursday, we may be coming to terms with some difficult choices that you've made. You know, we are also maybe reflecting on our life choices, and we could possibly be regretting some things, you know, but retrogrades are a great time for us to just stop and fix whatever it is that we have reviewed or reflected on, and then we get to choose to do it differently this time. So what was I saying? So this week we don't have any we don't have any major exact aspects this week, so it's more of a moon orientated week, if you know what I mean. Like, you know, each week we've got a specific flavor. This week it is more emotional. All right, so we're going through the things. All right, so yeah, like I was saying, so when the moon goes over Saturn, we're making some hard judgment calls, but that's okay, because you know, that's what life's all about. So now, moving on to Friday, the theme continues with maybe not quite being satisfied with life choices. All right, so we're you know, the goggles are coming off. All right, so if I just imagine it's back a little bit before we reach that Neptune in Pisces. So those rose-colored glasses, you know, they need to come off. Venus is, like I said, she's a bit pissed off. She's a bit angry. She's looking around at her life and deciding that, no, not doing that thing anymore. So this moon conjunction to Neptune is just enhancing that. You know, don't turn to the bottle, because, well, not even saying that, like, it just, you know, we might want to escape a little bit more this week just because of all the frustration that is in the air. You know, some hard facts, some frustration, some disappointment, some, you know, I mean, it's not exactly smooth sailing. So just remember, you know, if you are starting to feel really, really unsettled, please go for the self-care. You know, put something in writing as options. You know, have a list of options. Heather and I love these list of options. You know, I go to them as well. What can I do instead of feeling like X? All right, and if I do feel like that, then, you know, maybe I can try and go do whatever. All right, so that was Friday. So Friday is actually one of the more unsettled days, but by the afternoon, when the moon moves into Aries, we're going to come out of that, you know, that Suki Lala place, and maybe just be a little bit more direct, remembering that the moon is then being ruled by Mars in Virgo. So, you know, there's going to be more towards the end of the week where you really need to watch your words, and try to enthuse people into working with you, rather than speaking down to them or speaking angrily to people, which is definitely a tendency that is coming the closer that Mercury gets to Virgo. And again, it's frustration, it's regret, it's just, you know, things aren't working out the way you want them to, so you're like, ugh, or you know, been deluded this long and now it's not going to be that way. So, you know, maybe there's just some whole life changes happening that you know, you're allowed to be pissed off. You know, if you're making these massive changes in life, then anger is an okay emotion to feel. So just, you know, walk it out, box it out. I don't know, do whatever you can to make you feel better and not take it out on other people, because that's never going to work. And that's just bad karma. All right. So Saturday. Oh, this is Saturday. Okay, so yeah, like I said, Saturday is one of those mornings is where you sit with things and try to work them out in your imagination or in your mind. The afternoon, go for it, and then Sunday, fairly cruisy day on Sunday. So, you know, one thing I have written for Sunday is to remember that anxiety and falling in love feels the same. You know, we need to remember a lot during this time that, you know, we are hormonal and chemical beings. So sometimes we can feel one thing and it's so closely related to another thing. You know, this is why we really want to keep an eye on our thoughts and don't let them spiral into the negative energy that Mercury in Virgo can sometimes just go to, especially because Mars is there. So I guess, you know, a long way around this whole week is to just please keep yourself in check. Make sure that you're not, you know, struggling with anxiety, because like I said, you know, energy can feel the same with different labels. So we just want to, you know, keep keeping an eye on ourselves as much as we can. So, all right, I'm going to stop